Generic greetings and welcome back once again to Prison Architect. Today's beverage is a nice and calming chamomile tea, which may be needed as basically in this episode we're probably going to get some prisoners, all of them of which are death row. Either way, welcome back, and previously we were doing some more construction. Specifically, we got in this whole corridor here, central section with parole and what will become eventually execution, and then we went up to the top here as well and placed in the first of 3 cell blocks. Technically, I guess there's 5 because you've got 2 dormitories as well, but that's not really our priority at this stage. Obviously expanded on green energy and did a lot of grants. Speaking of which, we do have a lot more grants that we can pick up. When I say pick up, I mean pick up and probably not complete because of, well, it's almost certainly not going to happen. Anyway, let's go ahead and crack on with some building. We have 35,553 generic units of currency, more than enough to at least get these cells done. And then once we've done the cells themselves, we'll go ahead and probably get some prisoners. I'll have to obviously set up the patrols and things like that. And yes, we haven't got flooring and other such things, but we'll sort all of that out. Either way, let's go ahead, and I'm thinking what's probably best is I remove everything from all of the cells, and then I just use the clone tool and clone from there. I think that would probably be easier. So let's go ahead and do that. So dismantle, and then we're going to dismantle everything in here. Obviously that will include the lighting, it'll include the phone booths, which we put in just for the sake of grant and such. And there we are, we'll let the workers do that one. Just go over to planning. I'm just going to remove these little bits of planning here. I did think about putting doors on here, and I'm still probably going to add some doors somewhere because it's still quite a way around the facility, but yeah, I just wasn't too convinced on that one. People have suggested different things for several different rooms, so thank you if you've left one of those. Well, I think one of the main ones was to expand to the right-hand side and put a massive graveyard just for the sake of, well, I think intimidation, but we'll see how that one goes. It's not really on the high-priority list. In terms of grants, as I mentioned, we've got a lot of things that we can pick up, not a lot of which we can actually complete. But I'm going to go for the Tracker Pilot Scheme. That's going to give us 20 grand advance payment, and then once we complete it, it's another 25 grand, so pretty good. That's just to, as you can see, install medical boxes and other such things. So we'll do that, and then you have to assign the belts to the inmate. So yes, anyway, so we're gonna probably build this cell first. So over to objects and to phone booth, and put the phone booth in pretty much exactly where it was, and I'm gonna place the lights in like so. In fact, what I'll do, I'll also go for, we've got windows, we've got windows, large window. So a large window I'm going to place here because we won't be cloning that, so it's going to go in here. I'm very tempted, actually, to maybe shift all of these doors down because I want to have the more sort of high security doors. So do I do that first? I think that would be of some benefit. So I'm going to go demolish walls and demolish these walls here because that's where they'll be in terms of the entranceway, and then we'll put in the doors in like that. Now obviously it does mean changing things up a little bit, but it doesn't much matter. These double ones, they're fine, but what I want ideally, if I was to use the doors that would fit in there, it would be things like a large jail door. Ideally, though, I do want a door secure, because you can pass food through it without the guards having to go through. So that's, I think, is a better idea. But let's just see about that one. It means having to clone the whole thing over here, but that's probably what we'll do. We'll probably sort of clone this entire thing and just paste it. But let's see, that's a future me problem. Let's just go over to planning, actually. I'm going to just remove some of this here. So it'll be that and that and that. And then obviously we see the workers coming in to grab stuff and then bring it back to storage. Although storage is probably full. Yeah, it's pretty full. Have they not done the walls? The walls are planned. Oh, yeah, they're getting on it now. So over to door secure, and then we'll place the doors on here and then on this side as well. And then because we can, we will designate this one as a cell. Okay, so we want to have this as highly graded as possible, have basically every need in the facility fulfilled as best we can in here. So we need the very bare minimum. So I'm going to go with a comfy bed. I'm going to place it in here. I'm going to then place in the toilet and sink in probably this side. I want to place it far away from far away from the the edges as possible. So I guess what I'll do is I'll move the phone booth down to that side, and then, because they're not going to dig that way, they're going to dig up and round or and across. So actually placing it there would be bad because that's an easy way out for them. So middle ground is probably what we're after. So maybe there. I think there would be fine. It's a little bit iffy being where it is, but we'll place them showering as well. So that's now done. Okay, so we do need to fulfill a couple of needs. So let's we do need a bookshelf, and it has an area effect. I think it's an area effect of. Is it just 1 block around it? I think it might be. I'm going to place it and see what happens. I can always shift it if necessary. TV we will place in as well, but I'm going to see about that one. Oh, there you go. So that actually has managed to meet the need if they're in bed there, which is fine. And what I'll do then is go for a chair in here. We'll go for a TV there. Then I'll go for a warden statue, which is suppression, increases suppression by a small amount. So we'll put that in here. I'll also put a pet bird on there because that is, what's it say? Improves cells grade, cares for the family and luxury need. So you can see area effect, I think. Not just, oh, that's the area effect, and there's that one. Okay, so as long as they're sitting in that chair, then pretty much everything is going to be fulfilled. Excuse me. So we also want things like a gym mat and a I'm not going to put in a pillow because it doesn't clone, so it's a bit of a nightmare. I might as well put in a pool table because we've got a couple of spares. We want an office desk in like so. That means also another chair which will go in here. We want in a prayer mat which will go in the corner. And let's just go through the needs. So, okay, over to needs then. And we've got bladder, yes. Bowels, yes. Sleep and food, yes. Safety, hopefully. Hygiene, yes. Exercise, yes. Family, that's in the the phone booth as well as the pet bird, I believe. Comfort and recreation. Yeah, recreation's got the TV, got the bookshelf, although that's literature. I think that's actually recreation as well. But the environment, it's not too bad, but I'll put some flooring in before we clone. Privacy, yes. Freedom, perhaps not. Clothing, spirituality, alright, fine. That's actually pretty much okay. If we go over to our logistics and room quality, it is... interesting. It doesn't say there's a shower head in there. I'm guessing that's because... yeah, we haven't plumbed it in. Okay, let's do some plumbing then. So plumbing is going to run like that, and I might as well do all the plumbing while I'm here. So it's going to be like so, and then like so, and then finally we've got in... I've obviously removed the wrong bits there, and then large pipe to there. Let me just go back over to the planning and to the pathways, and we'll just put these pathways in like that. Not that we need to know exactly where they're going to go, but there we are. Okay, double check the grading again. I do want a maximum grading, so it's currently 13. If we had a sofa, it would be good. A radio and a boombox would also be good, but that might rile things up. Although we don't have events on, so we might be able to get on with that. I think a sink and mirror will work as well. Okay, it's for the hygiene need, but that will need to be plumbed in. And it previously, I think there was an issue with cloning. But let's see, what else can we have? Canvas and paints and a punch bag and a sofa. Okay, I can do all of that. We only need 2 of them, you understand. Oh, actually, while I'm here, metal detector. Metal detectors are going to go in here. Because of that, I'm going to remove that chair and bring it back over, and bring it back over like that, and then we'll connect up the electrical cable like so, and then might as well make some money by selling that bit of utility there, although that's that should be fine now. Okay, so back over to here, we're going to have in, what was it? It was in a sofa. We could have a wide sofa. We can place it in there, and it was in canvas and paints, wasn't it? Yes. Now, sadly, if I put it like that, it's going to look fairly rubbish, so I'm going to place it there just for the sake of visibility, you understand. It just looks a little bit better. And that should now be graded at the maximum of 15. Let me just double check. Room quality is grade 15 of 15 as shown on the bottom there. We can add more. If we had a PA system, it might help. I don't think it... well, it would negatively affect it. PA system decreases the yards graded. Also, I think it makes the Yeah, I think if we put it there, it will... I think it has an effect where it's adds suppression to the facility, and that means I'll have to offset that. But I'll double check that one. I'm just going to see if that affects that. And yes, it's now 14. Okay, so I think what we'll do is add in a punch bag, and the punch bag will go... Well, we'll put it in the middle. Why not? There's no reason not to. And then we need to work out the... just double check that grading 1 second. Logistics, room quality. Yes, it's 15 now, so that's fine. So that can all be cloned, and hopefully it will actually clone. And that cost us a little bit of money to do that, but no matter. Let's think of flooring then. So the flooring in the centre here is going to be limestone. We're going to have that green mile type of thing. Even I've not actually seen that film, but something like that, and like that, and then like that. But do I put it inside the cells as well? I think I'm just going to go with concrete for the rest of it, the concrete tiles. I'm not going to put the line tiles in because, quite frankly, it would take a bit too long. But I think the concrete would look quite good. I'm just going to put in a small section just to see what it's like, and just to offset that. The other one would be like grates or some sort of dark flooring. I actually quite like the green there. Let me just put in... How much is the limestone? It's going to cost $3 to put the full limestone in here. Let's just see how that is. Yeah, I don't mind the look of that. That's all right. I think maybe a darker tile would work better, but I'm not convinced that... Not convinced we need to spend much time on that one. What I'm going to do, I'm going to put grate on that side just to try it, and then I'm going to put these triangular tiles on the other. Again, just to try it. I know we are burning through money, but once we get some inmates, we should be all right. Let's just see what this grate looks like. Immediately, I don't like the one on the left. That's just not... That's a no-go. These ones... What do those look like? In situ, metal floor, no, grate. Grate like that. Let me just do another section just to see what it's like. There's another 500 wasted / spent, depending on your opinion. You know what? I actually quite like that. I'm going to go with that. We won't go with that in the rest of the facility, I don't think. I think the rest of this, maybe... I don't know. No, do we do that? We don't often use this, do we? And it's not that expensive. It's 40 as opposed to... Oh, 40 as opposed to 10. Actually, it is expensive. Okay, fair enough. But hey, it's a bit different. It's something we haven't really done. So you know what? I don't particularly mind that. Yeah, actually, I like the look of that. Okay, quick build, custom, and then cloning. And let's just see. 1, 2. Flip it. 1, 2. And then 3. Okay, so while they're cracking on with that, I'm going to go... green energy goal 9 completed. The output of all green power sources has been increased by a factor of 2. And that means that maybe our exports will be more. I say maybe because I'm not entirely sure how that's going to work. Deployment, death row. All of this is going to be changed, obviously, to death row. Like that. So that's now death row, which is fine. People have mentioned about this corridor and these ones eventually not be... Well, they're all going to be staff only in the dormitories. There's no access to the canteen, and that's because there isn't a canteen. You're either in this death row area, in these cells, or you're in this dormitory here, which everyone will be having permanent punishment anywhere, and everything will be brought to them. So that's the idea. Yeah, so let's just go to deployment. I know internally it should be fixed, so we got dog handlers and stuff that we need to hire. We need to set up some deployments around the outside, so I'm going to go with magenta patrol, and it's going to go from here around to there, okay, and then assign a dog handler, and we'll assign them to the middle. Okay, that's fine. Obviously in the centre we've got more people patrolling. I'm going to build the execution room because in the past, basically, you don't, you weren't able to get death row inmates before you had an area that was set to staff only, and sorry, set to an execution and death row. So we need to do that. Well, I don't know if we need to, because obviously we've hacked in the... oh, I'm going to have to take a loan out here. Let me just go to loan, and we'll go to 25 grand loan. I could pick up manufacturing facility, or do I do that? 20 grand advance payment. Not for now, not for now. Anyway, yes, I was saying, yes, previously, if you wanted to get death row inmates, you had to have the right amount of other inmates. So, you know, a lot of sort of high-risk inmates. You would also need areas set to death row. You would have to have an execution room, all of that sort of thing, before you would even you were even allowed to get them. But obviously, we've changed the save file, so I still don't know whether that's going to work or not. But there you are. So the workers are still cracking on. You can see there's a whole host of supply trucks coming in. And after that, I think we will be able to get our inmates. We probably have enough money to hire our staff, but I'm not going to do that now because obviously it's going to alter the cash flow. Every inmate we get is 2,500, so yeah, that's quite a lot of money. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15 grand, I think, plus however much money we are paid for having the inmates in here anyway. We're not going to set up any death row appeal. We're just going to have them basically wait here, and yeah, hopefully the money will be fine. Just coming up to 12 now and see how much money we get. Power export is 4,748. I think the maximum you can export is 5,000. Let's see. It is, yes, Green Energy Goal 5 is increase the export power cap to 5,000. After that, we need number 6, which is have inmates successfully pass the solar panel development program. We'll never do that. We've already done number 9, which is double the output of all of our power sources by 2. That's to charge 100 batteries, and we've done that without even getting any inmates. We also have Energy Goal 7, which is half the effects of weather, but we don't have weather on. And then we have yes, gain 1 energy source of each type, and that's not use any power for 10 in-game days with prisoners present, which obviously we don't. And I've already passed the intake because I was rabbiting on. Okay, that's not ideal. Right. So we've got this. Let's see then about going into intake, and then to death row, and then to fill capacity, and then there we go. In 20 hours, we're going to get those inmates. While we're working on that, or waiting for that, let's work on the Tracker Pilot Scheme grant. So it requires install a medical box in the infirmary. So that'll be under utilities. No, there's a health monitor. I know a health monitor needs to go in. I know a tracking monitor needs to go in security. And speaking of security, I do need to actually finish this off by adding in things like that, and then something like that. There we go. That'll be legitimate. It's because at the moment it's just for the door control system and phone taps and such, which actually the phone taps, now that I think of it, will have to be rewired. So let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and there we go. Okay, so inmates will come in, get processed, come through here, blah blah blah, all the way to this area. I don't know if I want any door servos here. I don't think I'll need them. We'll have them here and here, but we'll see. No, I think that should be fine for now. Yeah, I'll have a think about that one. This is a bit dodgy up the top here. Don't really like the whole area like that. In fact, what I could have done, now that after thinking about it a bit more, well, actually, to be fair, we've done some changes, but that's a 4x4. We could have put parole in. Oh no, parole's a 5x5, so no, we couldn't. Okay, that's actually not too bad then. Medical box. So I'll type in med. There's a medical box. We'll go in there. We have to place a router, so that is again in utilities and wiring, and we'll place a router in. It doesn't matter, it's just a temporary thing, and I do mean temporary, not temporary permanent. And then it is, well, technically, we do need to wire these up before they work, so I'll do that. Because otherwise it'll be a bit of a nightmare. 14 grand remaining, so let me go ahead and go to staffing, and I'm going to go to 1, 2 armed guards. I'm going to hire another 2 cooks. I'm going to hire another 1, 2, 3, 4 dog handlers, and that should be it. That should be all is required for our cells here. Let me just double check the deployment. Everything should be staff only apart from this, which should be death row, which is true. And yes. Okay, we can see that the prisoner uniforms have been delivered. Everything is being cleaned by the janitor. So basically, we're about to get some inmates. And will the game just completely crash because it's not normally used to this thing? The chief is calling. Our first death row prisoner has arrived. We need to make sure we have death row appeals program set up in parole so that they can have their appeals hearing. We're not going to do that one. So we have, let's see, this come up. We have prisoner Trish, Bally, Bolton, Ward, and Dennington. A couple of unknown reputations. Let me just go to informants here. One of them's got strong, volatile, stalker, and cop killer. And the other ones, like I say, are unknown. So there is our delivery of inmates. Delivery? Is that the right term? Arrival of inmates. Anyway, they are here. So, daily cash flow is still in the negative, but you can see that our bank balance has indeed gone up to a nice amount. And what I'll do is I'll assign, once they've been put in their cells, you understand, I'll assign the belts to them, and that means that we can, yes, we can get another 25 grand, and then I'll pay off that loan, and then hopefully our daily cash flow will be all right. Why the inmates? Oh, they are getting escorted correctly. That's fine. Why have the guys not installed this? Looks like they're just working over here. Oh, they're trying to get through that. Looks like there's not enough. Why? There should be enough free guards. There's definitely enough free guards. That's so weird. That's so weird. That light, I'm going to dismantle. It looks like they're sort of stuck. I think it's because I've got so many patrolling, and obviously we've got basically 6 guards who have been spending their time. Let me get another 2 guards, spending their time basically escorting the guys to their cells. So there you go. We have all of these guys in here. If we go over to our logistics and room quality, you can see that all of these guys deserve, or at least the game has decided that they're a rank of 13 out of 15. So yeah, there we go. That's all fine. So if we check out our needs, everything should be good. Let's go for grants, and I do want crackdown on drug switches, have at least 30 prisoners, never going to do that. Tool cleanup, at least 40 prisoners, not going to do that. Inmate nutritional research, at least 20 prisoners, right? So we're not going to do any of that. Brilliant. Okay, let me just go ahead and check out the tracking menu, and we will assign a belt to 3 of the inmates. Now, I'm not convinced that this is going to go well because it never goes well in the first place anyway. When it comes to assigning tracking belts, but I've never assigned tracking belts to a death row inmate, and I don't even know if they can be actually physically escorted to this area. But I'll let the game have a little think about it first, and after that, I'll probably have to change this up. I think I will have to change this up because you can see they've still got handcuffs on in this list here. Okay, I've had to previously do something like this, like that, and then maybe now they will be escorted, but I'm not convinced that's going to happen. But we've got patrols on the go, which is good. Guard taser certifications on the go as well. Let's just check out our, let's have a quick look. Our programs, staff programs. That's a really low pass rate, that's for our guard taser certification. 23 finished, only 14 passed. That's only a 16% pass rate. That's actually exceptionally poor. I don't know why it's like that. How strange. Send a prisoner to infirmary to equip tracking belt. Okay. So I've said that, and I don't think any of that is going to happen. So that's going to be a problem, because it means this grant's just going to sit there. I mean, we did get the advance payment, but I would like to get the other one. Although what can happen is if they have their sentence reduced and then they go over to here, then I can probably do it that way. Yeah, it's almost certainly going to be the case. All right, so going to close that down and close that down, and it means that where do we go from here? Because I'm still in the sort of negative cash flow level. I mean, obviously I can remove some staff members if need be. I don't think I need the amount of cooks that I have. Let's have a quick look. So I'm going to go for maybe... do we need that amount of dog handlers? Well, yes, eventually. I'm going to get rid of them other 2 cooks that I've hired because I don't think we need Need them. 2 doctors, that should be fine. I'm not going to get rid of the workers. Programs-wise, the rest are in the queue. So I'm going to set up then. Where is it? It is the... can't find it here. Parole, spiritual, solar panel, farm, flower, animal, conflict resolution, reform, prisoner consultation. So we've got execution liability. We have parole set. The deployment is set correctly. Just change this back to staff only because we can. Back to normal speed. Yeah. I just missed it. So it's a death row appeals. I've either missed it several times, or it ain't there. Interesting. Okay. Okay. So what I'll have to do then is continue building. And I think I'm going to have to do that right now. Quick build. Actually, no, not quick build just yet. Foundations, building brick. No, not building brick. Close. I was going to do that. So I said previously I was going to end up going to doing that, I'm sure. But we'll build here. And then I won't put the flooring in because it'll be a bit of a nightmare. There's power export, which is good. And lots of guard certifications. Your prisoners are going hungry. Well, they shouldn't be. I don't think there are. Food need. 3 prisoners have that need. Interesting. Well, let's go to regime. Eat times there. Let's just see if that is done. This is now being put in, so I will go with foundations, actually walls and doors, and demolish walls. We'll demolish those. Then quick build, custom, cloning, and yep, the full thing, which will go like that. 31 grand it recommends for that. I think it's going to be more. Let's just see if the food is being delivered. So there's food, and I think it's because I think I know what it is, policy, medium, medium. I set it to the low and low because I thought it would be best to do that for the grant, for the inmate nutritional research, but well, we can't. And let me just double check. No canteens accessible by this kitchen. We will not cook any food for meal time. Okay, but it should deliver it to here. Right, in that case, that's a staff canteen. We will change that to a canteen. I don't know if this is going to work, but it's the only option I really have at this stage. Okay, we'll prioritise that. I'm hoping that as soon as that's happened, they'll start cooking up food, and then it'll obviously transfer over to here. So suppressed. They have got food need and starving. Same there, but not them. So only 3 of them to do. Give prisoner a tracking belt. Yeah, so it's put that in the list to give them a tracking belt. Yeah, this is what I feared, that we're going to have a lot of issues with, like say, altering the save of what we've done. Okay. Well, let's see about where is that regime. It's coming up to this eat time, so we'll see about that. Over to our grants, and we're going to increase the grant a lot, which is long-term going to be horrible. But to be honest, I don't know if there is a long-term at this stage. So that goes in here, 31 grand in order to do that. And that's going to be obviously a lot of work for the guys to do. Let me just double-check our programs. We don't need to do any more programs in that one, and we'll finish off the fire safety, even though I've got no fire suppression. In fact, yes, I've just answered my own question. Fire suppression, we should probably put in some of that. Fire extinguisher can go in there. That should be fine. Right, so obviously all of this needs to be built. Lots of stuff to be brought in. Canteen is now in. No prisoners assigned. Okay, let me just double check the food distribution. So is that food? Can we not do that? Don't know if that's going to work. Let me double check by going to... let's go with eat. Put it there. Shove it in there. Because then the guys are going to cook up some food. So they're cooking up some food up now. That's fine. That's good. And then they're going to deliver it to here. And then the guards... Hang on. Yeah, I think that's work now. Then the guards are bringing the food to the inmates. I think that's what we had missing. Yeah, there you go. So they put it... They don't even go inside. You notice they just put it on the outside of the door. And that's because they've got this door secure, so they don't need to go inside. So if I change that back, we should be alright. But let's check it needs. Yeah, that's been fulfilled. Excellent. Okay. Crisis... Well, one crisis averted. Next crisis. Yeah, I'm going to double check them programs again. Fire safety, we can stop. Workshop safety, kitchen safety and hygiene, carpentry, foundation education program, children education, behavioural therapy, pharmacological treatment to drug addiction, alcoholics group therapy, parole, hearing, spiritual guidance, solar panel development, work, farm work and safety, flower therapy, animal therapy, conflict resolution, 3 stripes program, 3 stripes training, reform, prisoner consultation. No, so we don't have the the necessaries for that one. Okay, that could be a problem. That could be a problem. Because if I go through the process of the execution process and it's found that the person was not guilty, because we need to get under 5% by default, 10% if you've got the grant, which we do, which is the execution liability. Maybe because I don't have a lawyer, actually. That might be it. Let me get a lawyer. Now let's see if it's in here. Let me just refresh the page. Death row appeal, there it is. Yeah. That's what's happened there. So basically what's happened is because I didn't have the lawyer, we couldn't do death row appeals. Yes, okay. Right. Grants. I'm going to pick up... Oh, what can I pick up? I can't assign them. Give prisoner tracking belt. Ed Ward. Let's have a quick look at Ed Ward. Tracking menu. Ward. Send prisoner get a tracking belt. I've said okay. If I change all this to normal, would it work? I say I'm sort of fighting fires at this stage. Not literally. Oh, that's true. You can change to shared. Let's just do that. Alright, so that's shared. Even though they're in here. So prisoner ward. To do, give prisoner tracking belt. We've got medical box. We've got a health monitor. We've got a router. And we have the tracking monitor. Guard required to operate monitor. Do we not have enough guards? It says 10 available. So I don't know what's talking about. Okay, I'm going to have to get another bank loan. This is not good. Not good at all. If I could just get that grant done, then that would be fantastic. But I don't think I can. I might be able to pick up loan after loan after loan and then get this one done as well. That would give us cell block A. The other option is to do the dormitory, and that would give us that one as well. Okay. Alright. I think that's what we're going to have to do, truth be told. I honestly think that's what we're going to have to do. Not staff only, shared. There we go. So, we're minus 4 grand in debt. We have got 27,000 in the bank, but obviously that's going to go all over the place. We've got some patrols in and around here. I do need to set up some more. Let me go ahead and sort that now before I forget. It's only one of them. It's this. I'll do it from here as well. And then we know it's completed. Then we've got dog handlers. like so. Alright. That one's not wired up yet? No, it's not. So we've already had a couple of people, Paul Dennington, go through that death row inmate, death row, whatever it's called. Can't remember the name of it now. Programs, death row appeal. Yes, they've already gone through that. So there's some more inmates turned up. Extremely tough Stokel, Green Thumb, I think that was. Fearless, Green Thumb and Foodie. Okay. Ah, right, and there we go. There's the problem. Right, we're going to leave it there for now. That's been a bit of Prison Architect. We have 2 inmates who have had their sentence put down to, well, from death row to life, essentially. Yeah. So we need a place for them to be, which is going to be one of the dormitories, which is going to be here or here. But obviously requires us to build it. So next episode, what we'll do is we will wait for the workers to finish off this. Obviously, those inmates will be brought into that, and then as a priority, we'll get in one of these corridors and then get the dormitory in. But obviously, the dormitory is going to have to basically reflect these cells, so have pretty much everything that they have. Now, I probably won't have it as high a grade because the whole point is that these are sort of temporary, permanent probably, temporary areas for them to go in the dormitory. And then they will every 5 days we'll be able to ship them out. I'll see if that actually happens. I think I may have underestimated the size of this. In fact, what I might do, and what's probably best, is to do something like that and increase the size of the dormitory, because why wouldn't we do something like that? It just makes it a little bit better for us. Okay, yeah, we're leaving it there for now. That's been a bit of Prison Architect. We have some inmates, which is great. It's good to have some, but yeah, we're going to have to see how we get on. As always, let me know in the comments what you think. Hope you have enjoyed it. Thanks very much for watching. Take care, and generic partings.